Let's see if he can make a play on the return. Rolling the dice to bring it out of the end zone did not work out as he stopped at the 13. So Mississippi State's return team didn't help matters out much there. And here he comes, a man who epitomizes the phrase, the tight end's always open, David.
And yes, he is, Reese. And it's so cool. The tight end position now has evolved so much. You can move him all over the field, and you can really highlight a guy of his ability.
Too big for safeties to cover and too fast for linebackers to cover. This is a weapon they've got to take advantage of.
Good job to toss that ball out of bounds and avoid the loss. You can barely hear yourself thinking here as they're trying to get this defense off to a good start. He'll take a deep shot here. And they wanted it all on third down, but now dealing with fourth down. So Mississippi State will have to punt this one away. They'll have to punt for the first time this afternoon. Makes the catch near the 50. He's brought down, but a really solid effort to pick up every bit of yardage he could on the punt return. So the Texas Longhorns offense will go to work for the first time today. A first down for the offense. Movement here from the tight end. He let that thing fly quickly, but he couldn't make the connection. The incompletion on first down leaves him with 2nd and 10 from the 43. Complete to the right. And they'll finally catch up to him, but not before a big chunk of yardage is picked up. They move the tight end all over. Finds his big tight end. We talk about the importance of a quick start in SEC play, guys. You just can't afford to get in a hole.
No, you get behind. The head-to-head matters. Every conference game was
pressure all over the quarterback, and down he goes at the 24.
When it's a play-action pass, that quarterback, he really has to sell the fake. He can't tell his offensive lineman's getting beat right away while he's selling the fake. He had no shot.
They've got a ways to go on third down from the 24 as this defense tries to force him into a field goal try. Back to throw, it's Ewers. Just threw that one away to avoid disaster. They'll play it safe and try for 3. And this will be a 41-yarder coming up from the right side. And it's right down the boulevard. And with that, they break the seal on the scoring. It's 3-0. So after the last drive ended with a field goal, the kickoff team out there to send it away. On the move from inside his 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. Here comes the Bulldog offense back onto the field. Handoff from the gun. Low man wins, and he just smashed him. And he finds some solid space, makes a nice game before the defense is able to stop him. Out of the gun, the inside handoff, looking for a crease. Finally pulled down, but not before moving the chains for a first down. Mississippi State right back to the line.
Well, with the weapons this offense has, you knew it was just a matter of time in the run game before someone was going to break a long one. They've just been
going to take a shot at this DB. And they won't make the connection going for the big play. 2nd and 10 here. Looking for room. It's Booth. Good pickup on the ground, and they'll mark him down at the 39. Here comes this home crowd as the defense tries to get off the field on third down. They're bringing heat. Finds his tight end. He gets it so close to the first down marker, but I think he's going to be a touch short. Mississippi State will roll out the punt unit. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. Fair catch called for and made. And here come the Horns. They've got it again on offense. Guys, that last trip a little disappointing having to take the 3.
Yeah, and I think, Jesse, you see so many offenses talk about getting yards and the tempo and all the stuff they do. There's a nice job moving the football, but they got to get in the end zone this time.
Yeah, and I think to do that, they just got to be more physical at the point of attack. Get some push up front. They need to be the best running team in this game to win.
Found a little bit of running room, knocked down at the 24 after a pickup of 4. To the air, it's Ewers. He's got his man. He'll make the play on 3rd down. He's got enough for the first as they mark it at the 32. The Longhorns come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Coming out on 1st down with the play fake. It's complete on the right side. You'll take 4 yards on 1st down every time, 2nd and 6. Fast motion from the offense. On 2nd down, looking again to throw. Caught near the sticks. It's Bolden. He's there to make the stop, but the damage has been done as they pick up the 1st down on the throw and catch. The offense showing motion from the tight end, trying to get a read on the D. Spins away from the defender. And he runs through 1 tackle and picks up a few. Got 6 on 1st down. Now a lot of options on 2nd and 4. Wide out in motion. Handoff from the shotgun. Just a solid stop by this sophomore. They have work in front of them on 3rd and short from the 42. They'll try to pick up the first through the air. Grabbed in the backfield. It's Golden. And it is well blocked as they pick up enough for a 1st down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Quickly complete. At the 20, he's got space. Touchdown, Texas! And once he found daylight, it was Katie bar the door, baby.
Quarterback's abilities to read the field is huge. And also the anticipation, the time to be able to throw the football, Jesse, and hit a guy in stride so he can get run after the catch and get in the end zone. That was a nice job by the quarterback.
Yeah, it's critical, David. Listen, a lot of times, touchdown passes aren't thrown into the end zone. You've got to read the coverage, hit the open guy, and let him do the rest.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And the extra point will tack another one onto this lead. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Dynamite matchup this week, fellas. Let's show you what's going down. Michigan State has the lead right now. Feels like it's been that way since Sparty's run out. But this has been a nip and tuck affair inside Spartan Stadium. They're up by 7 over Ohio State. We'll circle back if anything big happens in this college football matchup.
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. He leaves it with his back. That one could really put this drive into high gear as they have a 1st down at the 37. Mississippi State going up tempo. Out of the gun to give to the back. And he's brought down after a nice gain. It'll be a 1st down from the 49-yard line. Use the play fake, now to throw. Gonna take a shot. He's got it at the 15. And he motors into the end zone. Touchdown, Mississippi State. How about that quarterback taking the shot downfield and delivering to the wide open receiver?
I love this quarterback, Reese, because he's aggressive. He wants to take shots. He's looking for every opportunity to show off that cannon and that arm talent. He showed it to all of us right there.
On to attempt the try. And the PAT will draw them 1 point closer. Quick work on that scoring drive, just 4 plays. And they finish the drive with a big play through the air, scoring from 51 yards out. Here he comes from inside his own 5. And the return man has no place to run, no place to hide, and a place to be tackled. He wants to throw. And he was hit just as he was releasing the pass, and it falls to the ground incomplete. After the misfire, now on second down. Out of the gun, the running back has it. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. You make up the game plan and not a lot on the play sheet for this. Third and long from inside their own 20. Looking for a man. It's Ewers. He fires one deep over the middle.
And that's just a play that you have got to make if you're going to win this game. You're not going to get a lot of chances like that. You might not get another receiver that open for the rest of the season.
Hand goes into the air for the fair catch, and the catch is made around the 40. Here comes the Mississippi State offense, ready to attack. This is a game of swings and momentum, and a great opportunity here after scoring on the last drive, getting a stop, and now you have the football back.
They're playing well right now in all three phases, and they're complementing each other. So now, David, it's up to the offense here. It's up to this quarterback to lead this offense down the field to get a score.
Yeah, and to stay aggressive, to understand we've had success, we got this going the right way. Now I don't need to change anything. Go back to your go-to plays. That's now got you some momentum back in your favor.
We'll repeat the previous down, but this time the offense has 10 more yards it has to cover. On the run, it's Booth. They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a first down. Mississippi State right back to the line. Third and long, and he'll try to throw for it. That's incomplete. Trying to set up the screen, and he dropped the pass. The punt team makes its way onto the field. On his way back from the 20. And they'll get him down after the return at the 27-yard line. On first down, here comes this offense. Use the play fake, now to throw. Got his man downfield. The expressway is wide open. Touchdown, Longhorns! Made the grab and finished the deal in the end zone.
One of the reasons this offense is so exciting to watch, they've got guys that are dangerous after the catch. If this quarterback gets through his progression, David, gets you in stride, these guys will take it to the house.
Man, it's your job to do the rest, right? You hit me in stride where I don't have to stop running, I don't have to break down. It makes it so easy. The connection between quarterback, wide receiver, you can tell this is a good one, and that's why they got 6 on that play.
PAT unit on the field. And with the extra point, they're now up by a touchdown and a field goal at 10. Kickoff team lining up to send this one away. And he'll return it and try to get behind his blockers. And the returner is stopped. The Mississippi State offense headed back to the field to go to work. That last drive fizzled out, Jesse. They had to punt it.
Yeah, they did. And, David, they're just going to have to do a better job this time around erasing the mental mistakes.
And just trying to solve the defensive riddle, understanding what they're trying to do to you and attack them.
Coming after it. And he will be sacked at the 6-yard line.
When you talk about outstanding pass rushers, you're always talking about dynamic guys, and he's been that each and every week for this defense. Speed, he's got power, you just simply can't block him, and that last play is his 10th sack of the season.
The roar of the crowd trying to fuel this defense to keep them pinned in their own end.
Neutral zone defense.
So the offense accepts the penalty, and they'll get a little farther away from their own end zone. On third and long, no secret what he needs here. What a complete disaster. What a terrible decision to run that far backwards and take the safety.
You could tell the defense smelled it. They knew exactly where they were on the field, put the pressure on him, got him down in the end zone. Safety, baby.
After getting caught for a safety, they're lined up and ready to kick it off. Secures it at the 30. Offense getting set for first down. to shoot. Quick toss to the right. Slips one guy, and now he's loose. Stopped after making the catch. They'll go to work on second down after doing damage on the ground. The play action fake. Caught close to the marker. It's Golden. He'll work his way down to the 28.
How nice is it as a quarterback when you don't have to throw post routes to get great stats? No, I can just throw it quickly to one of the fastest players in the entire nation and let him burn this defense.
Looking to move it through the air. Caught over the middle. It's held. And he's brought down after a nice gain. As they get set to snap it, time winding down here in the quarter. It's complete to the right. And with that stop, we are headed toward the end of the first quarter. Offense bringing in the big boys, heavy personnel. We're through one period, and these receivers are showing out big time. Take a look at the stats. Now the challenge here, they've taken a punch, but they can't let it get out of hand as we start the second. The give to the back. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. They line up with some serious work to do if they want to convert this one. Back to throw, it's Ewers. And a missed opportunity on third down as the defense knocks it free, and fourth down is coming up. They'll play it safe and send out the field goal unit. Absolutely perfect. And they'll push that lead out a little further. So they were able to put up a 3 spot on that last drive, and now the kickoff team out there as they prepare to put boot to leather. And he'll bring it out of the end zone. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Here comes the Bulldog offense back onto the field. And the last time they had the ball, they wound up giving up a safety, Jesse.
Yeah, that was ungood the last time they had the ball. So they got to do something here offensively to get into a rhythm, running and throwing the football. Try to find that consistency.
And try to find something positive with this offense. Forget about the safety. Those don't happen very often. Try to get some first downs together. Get some good mojo going.
Good, solid, determined run there. They'll mark him down at the 27. Mississippi State going up-tempo. Goes to the option. He'll toss it. That just never had a chance as they controlled the middle of the field and stopped him in the backfield on third down. Fourth down, and the punt team sends it the other way. Makes the catch at the 30. Tries to find a little more running room on that return, but he'll be stopped at the 36. So Texas has it again, and here comes the offense. And the defense is all over the quarterback, and down he goes.
Well, this guy's become a bit of a problem for opposing offenses. In their last game, he had 2 sacks, and he's dominating again, getting his first sack in this game now. He right now is wrecking people's game plans, and this offense better find out how to slow him down.
A first down sack can wreck a drive. Let's see what they've got on 2nd and 14. Give to the running back. Dances away from one. And the defense makes a big hit and knocks him down. As they come to the line on 3rd and short from the 43, I wonder if they already know they'll go for it if they don't make it here. Got it in the middle. It's Bond. That'll be enough for a first down as he crosses the 50 and gets it to the 48. And the Longhorns come to the line with a new set of downs. Touch pass on the jet sweep. That's what you expect from a senior. Don't give them any extra yards. Great tackle there. Now on 2nd down. Looking to throw, it's Ewers. Trying to get to it. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. Unloads to the wideout. He's got an open man. They've got it inside the 30. They'll mark it at the 28. It's first down. Wide receiver shows motion. Off the play fake on first down. He'll take a shot. Fires into traffic. Intercepted. And he's wrapped up after a solid return on the pick.
Man, that is how you get it done as a defense when you're playing cover one. Like, you got the middle of the field safety, but everybody else is manning up. Nice job running with this guy, seeing the football, breaking on it, making the interception, making the big play for this defense.
Here comes the Mississippi State offense, ready to attack. He'll pull it on the read. Not a whole lot of room there. 3 yards maybe, 2nd and 7. Mississippi State right back to the line. Looking for a crease. It's Booth. On the move at the 30. Finally run out of bounds, but he has this offense rolling with a first down. Moving quickly, trying to rattle the D. They're going to ride this running back. And that's a very productive first down play and bringing up 2nd and 3. Tempo and overdrive. He'll do it himself. And the defense snows him under after a very short game. 4 punts already, and they've got to convert here to avoid a 5th. On 3rd and short, they'll ride the running back here. That'll get the job done and move the chains, and they'll mark the ball at the 45. Mississippi State has this drive hitting on all cylinders. After the run, now to throw. And it's incomplete. If you're going to take a hit like that, you might as well hang on to the ball. Now 2nd and 10. Quarterback on the keeper. And maybe they want to try somewhere else because there is nothing doing in the middle of this defense. If they can convert here, that type of play can really give you a shot of momentum. On 3rd down, going up top. And he can't escape, and down he goes.
And that is why this defense is so good. They get after the quarterback and get him on the ground. That's their 3rd on the day, and they're number 1 in the country in sacks, and they have been a problem for every offense they've faced.
So Mississippi State will have to punt this one away. They've been busy out there to punt for the 5th time today. A fairly short distance here toward the sidelines, not his best work. The Longhorns sending the offense back onto the field. Boy, they had that last drive moving a little bit, David, but then the mistake just crushed them.
Yeah, and those mistakes are going to happen. You're going to throw the football, you're going to throw interceptions. But I think I stay aggressive with this offense. I get back to what I did in the first part of that drive, what made me successful.
I agree, David. Just turn the page if you're a quarterback, right? On this drive, you did a lot of good things there leading up to that pick. Forget about it, move on, play the next play.
Hold it.
Holding penalties, the ultimate drive killer. We'll see if it costs this offense here. Looking to pass. It's Ewers. He lofts it high and deep down the left side. Not exactly the ideal situation for this offense. 3rd and long, backed up inside their 20.
Man, that's a couple bad throws. Last possession obviously ends in an interception by this quarterback, and now you throw another one, in harm's way. You got to make sure you're throwing to the open guy. Make sure you're taking care of that football. We can't have any more turnovers.
4th down, and the punt team sends it the other way. Now a fair catch is called for and made just shy of midfield. First down for this offense. On the run, it's Booth. At the 40, there he goes. They make the tackle at the 36, but they're in plus territory now with the 15-yard pickup.
When I go into every game, I want to get my running back going. I want to get the ground game going, and he has. This afternoon, over 100 yards now, showed you a little bit of everything in the run game, and that's why this offense has been humble. And that would be the definition of first down success, putting yourself in a good position. It's second and inches. I can do whatever I want next. I can take a shot down the field. I can run the football and get a new set of downs. Like, nice first down execution.
And he found plenty of running room on that one before the defense was finally able to get him down. They'll try the run. They'll give him 4 yards on the carry. It's down at the 8-yard line. It'll be second down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. They'll go to the ground. Knocked down after a gain of 1. They'll mark it at the 6. They'd love to pick up this third down and get a fresh set with first and goal. Off play action. And the quarterback caught up to and sacked at the 12.
And giving up 3 sacks a week ago. Now you've already given up 4 sacks. They got to find a way to protect their quarterback. Give him a little bit more time.
And they'll send out the field goal unit. The field goal is no good. Guys, you want every little bit you can get, and they got nothing there. 15-point game.
And that's just the chip shot. That's just a field goal they got to make, guys.
And here comes the Texas offense back on the field. They missed an opportunity to extend this lead the last time they had it, Jesse.
Yeah, they got to be able to regain that momentum, right? Go back to what was working earlier on in this one. And, David, to me, that starts with being the more physical team.
Oh, I definitely agree. Being the more physical team, but understanding the situation of the game. You're still winning. You got the football back. Now put a nice...
It's loose. Once that ball was loose, offense didn't have a chance. Defenders everywhere. It's a turnover.
Well, they were trying to go RPO. The quarterback decided not to hand it off, and the pass rush just swallowed it up. They got to him so quickly, knocked the ball out, and jumped on it.
First down here for the offense. The give to the back. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. Mississippi State going up tempo.
And sometimes for the defense, it just takes one play, right, to create some momentum. Obviously, this guy's been eating him up. He's got over 100 yards rushing on the day. But finally, David, they get something positive here in the run game defensively.
But you kind of know that coming in. He's going to get his. Such a great back, and he's had a great day. Need to put more plays together like that right there.
On third and long, trying to have a big completion here. And he almost ran away from everybody on that one. A huge pickup on that play. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Mississippi State comes out after picking up the first down. Use the play fake, now to throw. And they can't make the connection, and it could get worse. A penalty flag on the field, and it's in the holding zone. Let's get the call. That penalty moves the ball back 10 yards. We'll replay the down. They put themselves in a hole to start. It's first and 20. Looking left. Got him downfield. The tackle is made, but he's got it first and goal from the 6. Mississippi State really efficient on offense right now. Back to pass. It's Shapen. They wanted to get that ball to the outside quickly, and it just about went the other way. It'll be second down. They'll keep it on the ground, right up the gut, looking for 6. Relentless, tough running gets it down to the 4. So loud it's rattling your fillings on third and goal. Looking to the end zone. And that one is right on target if his target was the first row. They'll try to salvage a field goal on this drive. Oh, the attempt is no good. Missed opportunity with the field goal, and the deficit is still 15.
Well, that's one the kicker would like to have back. That's a kick he should be making in his sleep.
Here comes the Texas offense. They put it on the ground last time they had it. Got to take care of it this time, David.
And I think you've got to put in context. A lot of times fumbles are just luck. You just got to move on, give him the football again, Jesse, and not worry.
I think that's a good point there, David. Get him the ball again to help him play the next play and know that he's okay. Because when that guy's playing well, this offense is on fire.
Looking to throw on second down. Makes the grab. It's held. Good, solid pickup on that one. They got it out to the 40, and it's first down. He's going to pass. Fires into traffic, picked off. And they'll drag him down after a good return on the interception.
And defensive backs, you think, don't have good hands. The big fella shows it. How about that defensive back going up and getting the interception? Nice job breaking on the football. You say that's why you play defense, because you don't have hands? Yeah, I beg to differ.
The Mississippi State offense headed back to the field to go to work. Not a lot of time left here in the half. Let's see if they can cut into this lead.
And this drive isn't a must score, but, man, you look at the scoreboard. You're down 2 scores. Jesse, you got a good opportunity. Create some momentum. Cut it to a 1-score game. This is an important possession.
Yeah, it's important to create that momentum now, David, too, and not wait to get it going here at the start of the third quarter.
And here comes the Heat, and they get home, and they get him at the 21. There's a timeout called as this offense tries to find a way to draw a little closer. Dropping back, it's Chapin. That pass is incomplete, and they're probably fortunate that it wasn't knocked free for a fumble. On third and long, doesn't need to take the check down. He makes the connection. And he'll run it into the end zone. Touchdown, Mississippi State.
Man, I tell you what, that passing touchdown, man, that should spark this whole team. Like, the comeback is more than on now. Like, they got the touchdown. They cut into the lead. You want to get a stop and go into the half, get all the juices, all the excitement, and be like, listen, the passing game's rolling. We got this. The comeback's in full effect.
Lining up for the PAT. And with the extra point, every little bit counts as they get closer. And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
All right, guys, a little update on what else is happening in college football this weekend. Miami is currently up big right now in a game they'll be talking about in Oxford for some time. They're up 14 over UMass.
Wants to throw on first down. Grabbed in the middle. It's Golden.
We'll circle back. If anything big happens, you should know about it.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. After that big gainer to open things up, they'll put it in play from the 40. Getting some heat. Grabbed over the middle. It's Baxter. Quick timeout from the offense to save precious seconds.
Yeah, and you see running backs in today's football, they play wide receiver basically for you, but you got to find a guy that you can throw it to, and you know he's going to catch the ball consistently.
They get him on the ground after he gets enough to move the sticks. Quick timeout call by the offense after the play. The Longhorns have it with a 1st and 10. Looking for a man. It's Ewers. Now he's going to send this one deep to the right. That one will be incomplete, and we are down to 10 seconds to go. On second down, they'll try the field goal to get the points before halftime. Somebody better check that dude's foot and see if it's juice. Man, oh man, from outside 60, he sails it through. So they get the late field goal right before the half and not much time after this kickoff for an answer. He'll start the return inside his 5. And the returner could find no daylight. He goes down. So the offense doesn't want to take a chance here. They'll just come out and take a knee and wrap up the half. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update.
Fellas, you've been calling a first-rate game so far from Austin today. And we have to start this halftime breakdown by addressing the play of this elite wide receiver. This is clearly a young man who, once he's finished playing on Saturdays, he's going to be playing on Sundays. The kid has different gears. He has a knack for finding gaps in the defense. And I can't remember a college player with that kind of catch radius. And with that, let's get it back to our fellas at DKR.
Mississippi State will put a foot to it to crank up the second half. And he takes this from inside the 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. So now the Longhorns take over and they'll send out the offense. Knocked down after picking up 5 out to the 24. Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5. Takes the handoff and he's going right. And the runner is down, and so is a flag.
Hold it. Offense.
They say you could call holding on every play. Well, they did on that one. Motion from the offense. Caught in the backfield, it's Bond. Really nice job there by both guys to throw and the catch to work that defense and get the first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Trying to find his man on first down. Through his hands and incomplete. He normally makes that catch every time it's 2nd down. They'll ride the running back and leave it with him. They finally get him on the ground, but the big running play moves the change for the first down. And the Longhorns look to keep this drive humming. Wants to throw on first down off the play fake. Swings it out to the flat. He's brought down, but he went backwards after that completion, not the way they had it drawn up. 2nd down coming up. Wide receiver coming across in motion. To the air, it's Ewers. They're setting up the screen. He almost picked up the first down on that one, but he'll be just a little bit short. 3rd and short from the 49 is this 4-down territory. They'll try to power their way ahead. They convert on 3rd down as he gets it to the 46-yard line. Offense walks through the line for play number 7 of the drive. Caught in the backfield, it's Bond. A 7-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 3. After the good pickup on first down, let's see if they keep it on the ground. Wide receiver now comes in motion. On 2nd down, looking to throw. Safe completion on the screen. No siree, not this time. The defense was there and ready for that one. 3rd down play from the gun. Strong pass rush gets to the quarterback, and they get him at the 46.
That defender is a matchup nightmare for any offensive lineman to block. He's got athleticism, he's got length, he's got flexibility. He put it all on display on that sack.
The Longhorns will punt it away on 4th down. Wanted to make sure not to give them a chance for a return as it goes out of bounds. Here comes the Bulldog offense back onto the field. From the gun, running back gets to give. Didn't find a lot of room. Let's give him 2 out to the 20. And the Bulldogs want to crank the tempo. Gonna run it. It's Booth. Shakes off the tackle. He'll get it up to about the 32-yard line before he stopped, and it'll be first down. He's looking to throw it. Good timing on the quick out. And he goes out of bounds after coming up with positive yardage there. Scanning the field, it's Shapen. They're trying to get to him. That pass is incomplete, and they might be fortunate it wasn't knocked free for a fumble. It'll be third down. They'll run play action. And they couldn't hold off the heat, and he goes down with a sack.
You can just see the excitement this defense has every play. They're almost wishing this quarterback drops back to throw because they know they're going to get home to him. That's the 6th time they've registered a sack.
Fourth down, and the punt team sends it the other way. No return coming. He'll call for the fair catch. First down here for the offense. They'll start this drive with a pass. Incomplete, and very lucky that one wasn't picked off. And, man, could they have used that? It'll be second down. The give on the inside. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3. They come to the line facing third and long from the 25. Looking downfield, and he needs a bunch. And the quarterback caught up 2 and sacked at the 12.
Yeah, and the defensive lineman, you know, third and long situations, I'm rushing the quarterback. You bring in the nickel, a little bit more speed on the field, and the defensive line gets home and gets the sack on third down.
The Longhorns will line up to punt it away. 3 and out, they got stuck in reverse. They hope the punt can bail them out. He's got great speed. And the returner will be dragged down. Here comes the Mississippi State offense, ready to attack. They had to punt it away on their last possession, but, man, what great field position this time.
I mean, this is awesome. Like, last possession didn't go great. Now you're set up in an opportunity to get some points. Start thinking about what plays I like, Jesse, as I cross the football.
There are a lot of offensive coordinators out there, David, and in this position, they like to take a shot right away and try and capitalize on this field position.
And this offense can ill afford to come up empty on this drive, already trailing by multiple possessions. Dropping back, it's Shapen. Feeling some heat. The freshman able to get home with the sack.
Goodness gracious, this is a master class, a clinic on how to get to the quarterback. The 7th sack of the game, are you kidding me? That's a season for some teams. They've lived in the backfield.
Mississippi State will roll out the punt unit. Not able to pop the big return, but they've got the ball back and ready to go with a fresh possession. And here come the Horns. They've got it again on offense. They'll have another opportunity to extend this lead after punting last time, David.
And it's important to put that punt behind you. It's over. Let it go. Get back to what you were doing that built this lead, Paul.
Yeah, and defense, obviously, they won a few downs that last drive, so you got to put them on their heels here. Maybe mix up a few personnel groupings and try to show them some pictures they haven't seen yet.
On third and long, he'll need to loosen up that arm. And they can't hook up on the big play, and that brings up a fourth down. So they're going to send out the field goal unit to try a long one. Oh, he missed it. No good. After the miss, still an 11-point game, guys. The Mississippi State offense headed back to the field to go to work. They thought it was worth the risk to try that 58-yard field goal, but now they put their defense in a tough spot. And the freshman will chalk up a sack. The first down sack pushes the ball back for this long second down. He'll keep it himself. And they're able to shove him to the turf as they stop him for a short gain. Better find the earplugs. Here comes the noise, backing this defense on third down. And that pass is intercepted. Didn't get a ton on the return, but the most important thing, he got the ball, and they've got it at the 48.
Third in Africa is extremely difficult. When I know it's a passing situation, I get to rush the passer, get my ears back. I get to put more DBs on the field to drop back and really play pass coverage. You can tell the offense was trying to force it, trying to get that first down, and makes the big mistake.
So Texas has it again, and here comes the offense. We talk about settling for points, but sometimes when you have to settle for nothing, David, it can be demoralizing.
Yeah, and it can definitely be frustrating. And I think it leads you to say maybe I go for it more. But, Jesse, I think this offense just needs to put another drive together and just finish stronger.
Yeah, and be a little bit less predictable, too, especially as they get closer and closer down to the end zone.
And he has a solid gain before the defense bottles him up. Now facing a third and long. Looking to throw, it's Ewers. Makes his connection. He gets it to the 38-yard line, and they'll pick up a fresh set of downs. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. And the Longhorns have it with a 1st and 10. Moving the running back, forcing the defense to adjust. Catch in the middle, it's Bond.
It's really nice when you're an offensive coach and you can basically attack the whole field. When you got an arm like this and you could just, boom, put it on a line, it's really nice to have that.
Looking to pass on second down. Gets it out fast. The Longhorns will keep this drive going. Now on 1st and 10 from the 27. Whoops, someone moved a little bit early. Offense going to pick up a 5-yard penalty.
False start. Offense.
The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. Looking for space, it's Baxter. Defense there to make the stop after a pickup of 2 to the 30. And now on second down for this offense. Wide out in motion. Grab behind the line. It's Bond. And the defense had that one well covered, just a short gain there. Here on third down. And you want to talk about his favorite receiver, it might be everybody, based on the number of guys getting touches and a chance to show off their hands in the passing game. Not only is the scoreboard on their side, but so too is time as we open the fourth. Grabbed behind the line, it's Bond. This field goal unit getting some serious run. They've already been out there 3 times. The kicker will try it again. Knocked it right through, showing that big range from 48 yards out. They're set to kick it away. He'll take the return and try to improve the field position. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Here comes the Bulldog offense back onto the field. The give from the gun. They'll knock him down after a pickup of 1 to the 18. The Bulldogs moving quickly to the line. The give to the tailback. Didn't find a lot of room. Let's give him 2 out to the 20. Decibels rising as the crowd gets behind this defense on 3rd down. Looking to throw, it's Chapin. Throws to the wideout. A strike downfield. They got him free for a big gainer down to the 43. Finally, some signs of life from this offense, which has done nothing in the second half. It's 1st and 10. Use the play fake, now to throw. And the quarterback is snowed under.
Play-action pass success has a lot to do with selling that fake. You could tell defense was not buying it, got in the backfield, got the big play.
That's the last thing you want as an offense, a negative play, a sack on 1st down. On the move, it's Lee. Able to pick his way forward for a decent gain before the defense gets him down. 3rd down conversions are a huge stat, and this one would be a doozy if they can pull it off. And this sophomore able to wreak some havoc and get the sack.
This poor quarterback has been running for his life. He has never been able to get his feet set, stare downfield, and try and pick this defense apart because he's constantly throwing with pressure in his face.
So Mississippi State will have to punt this one away. A fairly short distance here toward the sidelines, not his best work. He'll call for the fair catch here. The Longhorns sending the offense back onto the field. David, they couldn't pay off that last drive with a touchdown.
Now, they moved the ball down the field and executed like they wanted to until they stalled out and had to settle for a field goal.
I think if you want to take the next step, too, here and score a touchdown, you got to start finding more creative ways to get your best players the ball. Let's see if they can do that here.
Able to pick up a couple before he's dragged down at the 19. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. They line up, and it is a long way to the sticks from here. Looking downfield, it's Ewers. Fires to the wideout. He's got it. Coming through that 3rd down conversion, and they'll mark it at the 43. And the Longhorns will line it up on 1st and 10. Boy, the defense really needed to get off the field there, and they just couldn't do it, and it's a fresh set of downs.
Man, that hurts. When you're trailing late in the ball game, you need those stops, and you get them to 3rd down. You get them to those critical points. Now they get the 1st down. You don't have many left. You better get aggressive.
He's looking for a man on 2nd down. He almost had the pick, and that could have given them a boost. Instead, it'll be 3rd down. They line up with some serious work to do if they want to convert this one. Pressure coming. And there was nowhere to go for this quarterback, and down he goes.
What if I had told you this quarterback would be sacked at least 5 times in this game and yet still somehow would be winning? It's not normally how it works. You got to give the offense credit because even though they've suffered some serious negative plays, they've still been able to make some good things happen.
The Longhorns decide to punt it away. They may have to pay him overtime. He's punting for the 5th time today. Yet another punt on the way. Got to make sure that hamstring stays loose. He's been busy. And he's going to get it up to about the 29-yard line before he's brought down. Here comes the Mississippi State offense, ready to attack. They'll run it from the gun. Finds his way for 3 out to the 33. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line, 2nd and 7. He's looking to throw. Caught in the backfield, it's Davis. The defense wouldn't let him loose there, and it was a completion, but they lost yardage. Trying to move the sticks on 3rd down through the air. Makes the grab on the left side. Got a lot of running room. Touchdown Bulldogs. And the comeback is on.
And Man, back in the day, you used to line up and your tight end was a blocker and you threw it to him short. Now, these guys are being so dynamic in space and so athletic. Now they can make big, huge plays for your offense and put points on the board in a hurry.
Now they'll line up for what they hope is automatic. And it's up and good as they draw just a touch closer. We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
All right, guys, a little update on what else is happening in college football this weekend. East Carolina has the lead right now. Greenville has been buzzing all week, but this game is hardly over. There is time left on that clock. They're up by a field goal over UTSA. We'll circle back. If anything big happens, you should know about it.
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on second down. Right back to it. He's stuffed after picking up 1 to the 23. A 3rd and long coming up here. Back to pass. It's Ewers. Unloads it left. Can't make the catch on 3rd down, and the rarest of drops for this guy. The Longhorns will try to pin them back with the punt. And these guys have been busy. 6th punt of the day. He'll take it on the return. The coverage team was down there to corral him. They made the stop, and they'll mark it at the 39. The Mississippi State offense headed back to the field to go to work. They go to the ground. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Mississippi State right back to the line. From the gun, the ground game. Solid fundamentals on that tackle from this freshman. Big 3rd down as the crowd gets behind this defense. From the gun, wants to pass. Had to throw it before he wanted. And they'll miss the connection here on 3rd down. Mississippi State will roll out the punt unit. They'll look to pin them deep. Fields to punt and try to pick up some yards. Returns like that are why you don't settle for the fair catch if you don't have to. Picks up just a little bit of yards to help out the O. Fast motion from the offense. Caught behind the line. It's Bond. Back midfield, he's got room. They make the stop, but the sweet throwing catch is ready to give him a 1st down. Got it behind the line. It's Golden. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. After trying the running game, let's see if they do it again on 2nd down. And they make the tackle, but he has plenty for the 1st down. And the Longhorns come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Off play action on 1st down. Gonna let it fly. And he makes the catch inside the 10. And this defense has to step forward. Not only do they have to get a stop, they've got to do it quickly to keep that time from running down. And he'll step into the end zone. Touchdown, Texas! That one ought to give them firm control of this game, and they have gotten things going here, about to move to 4-1. The offense strikes again to extend its lead here in the 2nd half.
And they got everything working. How great is this? You extend your lead. Now you get your defense back on the field. Great job taking advantage of the situation and building on that lead.
And the extra point is true, and they have a 2-touchdown lead, up 14 in the 4th. The kickoff team out there and ready to go. And he's coming out of the end zone. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. Here comes the Bulldog offense back onto the field. Shoots it to the left. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. And the tackle is made, but not before that completion gets them 30-plus. Mississippi State going up-tempo.
Nice strike, big play in the passing games. I tell you what, find your mismatches, find your advantages, what you do well, and do it again. And then again. And then we know how we do it again. Keep attacking.
Wide open downfield. He's brought down, but he's got him inside the 10. First and goal from the 8. They'll put the tight end in motion. He'll pull it on the read. He pushes his way down to the 4 as they get closer and closer. See if they can get it done on second and goal. On the option. And he didn't get the pitch off, and he paid the price. If they can pay off this third and goal with a touchdown, it might be getting a little tough to swallow over there on the other sideline. To the air, it's Shapen. Pocket starts to collapse. And the pressure gets there. And down he goes at the 18. A fourth-quarter field goal down by this much, that's a lot like putting a lipstick on the proverbial pig. Doesn't do much to change the looks. Got to score the touchdown on fourth and goal. Desperately wanted to convert on fourth down, but couldn't do it. Quick release by the QB. And how about that catch and run? So dangerous, this guy. Now on first down from the 28. The give and tick, 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 tick. Defense there to stop him after a 2-yard gain to the 31. After picking up a couple at 2nd and 8. Movement here from the tight end. To the ground with the back. Smashes through. Found a little space, and he's got 4 to the 35. We reached the 2-minute warning, and this offense is that much closer to salting away a victory. On 3rd and short, the power run here. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. Quick timeout called by the defense, stopping the clock to save as much time as possible for their offense. The Longhorns will bring the punt team onto the field. Everybody stays in their lanes well enough, and they stop him at the 31-yard line. The offense lining up for a first down play. He wants to throw. He's taking a deep shot late in the game. And it slips through his fingers, incomplete. That would have been a huge gain if he could have squeezed it. Back to throw, it's Shapen. They're bringing heat. And the pass rush is effective, and they tackle him at the 19. Quick timeout call by the offense after the play, trying to preserve every minute possible. Coming after him. Didn't have anything working and just had to throw it away on 3rd down. Coach has no choice here. The offense has to stay on the field, down multiple possessions this late. 4th down attempt coming. Unloads to the wideout. It's incomplete, and they desperately needed to keep that drive going, and they couldn't make the connection. From the gun, they'll try to impose their will. Defense uses a timeout quickly, trying to get that ball back and preserve time for their offense. You got to believe they just want to run it, take care of the football, and keep that clock moving on 2nd and 9. The inside handoff. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. If they can convert here, that type of play can really give you a shot of momentum. They move the tight end all over. They'll give it to the back. Dances away for the D. And he was able to get away from one tackle, but plenty of help was on the way. Decent pickup on that play. They'll send out the kicker here. It's good, and that was dead solid perfect. And now the lead is even bigger. That last field goal was a big one. Now it takes a touchdown to beat them. You want to pin them back on the kickoff here. From inside the 10, here he comes. They stopped the return right there, and that will do it. This one is in the books. Well, look what we have here, guys. After all the early season doubts, these guys have put together a winning streak.
They sure have. Man, they're just believing in themselves right now. This is a completely different-looking team than what we saw early in the year. They're playing with so much more confidence. And, David, when you start making plays, you start stringing W's together, that's obviously what happens.
Everybody gets energized. Everybody starts to contribute. Young guys start to grow up. Coaches start to believe in them. Everything starts to turn around and swing the other way. They got it all going in the right direction.
That's going to do it for us. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, our entire broadcast team, I'm Reese Davis. This has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.